Hey, coaches, today we're going to talk about the sexiest play in the air raid. Of course, 92 mesh. This year, a couple things. Number one, more and more from NFL, college, all the way down to high school, I'm seeing mesh in all kinds of offenses, even air offenses that don't consider themselves to be an air raid offense. I'm seeing the mesh play over and over and over in different iterations, different forms. I'm going to give you two open field mesh concepts that have been extremely good to us this year so far. Uh, I think we just finished our fifth game, so it's been a big concept for us this year. We added a 5 minute or added back into the schedule. We've had it in the past, but kind of it's been out for a few seasons, and now it's back in. We have a 5 minute mesh period every single day, and we basically alternate back and forth between goal line situations, 10 yard line, 5 yard line, 2 point versions, which are much more traditional, how mummy type mesh routes. And then on the next day, we'll go through these two open field concepts that are both meshes, but they're just a little bit different, not as traditional as the goal line stuff is. And those are the ones I'm going to show you today. The two variations. We have a 3x1 variation and a 2x2 variation that have just been extremely effective for us. Matter of fact, this Friday, one of these mesh plays won the game in the last minute for us. So I'm going to share my screen real quick, and I'll take you through. Uh, I'll take you through about 11 of them. All right, so let me draw. This is the 3x1. I'm going to draw this one up, and then when we get to the 2x2, I'll draw that one up for you too. So on the 3x1, we're going off the trip side. We've got a skinny post by number one. We've got a post dig by number two, and then these two guys are going to run the mesh. And our rule is the right side sets it, the left side makes it, and you'll see in game situations we're not making this mesh as tight as it needs to be. That's something we're going to work on. The F has a check, and then he's running a rail down the sideline. He is the only one we haven't hit in the game yet. We've hit all these routes in the game, but we haven't hit this rail route yet. But it's coming, and part of the reason is he is on a true check, so he's picking up blitzers sometimes. So let's watch this one, and then when we get to the 2x2, I'll break that one down too. So I got it in slow motion here. So he's going. Well, let's go back. So the post is going to be number one. The dig is number two. The mesh is number three. And our quarterback is getting to the point where he can read both sides of the mesh as one. You know, we talk about when you first start a quarterback, read the mesh as two progressions, be play side and backside. But as the quarterback gets better and better, he can start seeing that picture as one progression. And our quarterback's getting to that point. Maybe not 100% of the time, but he's pretty good at reading the mesh as just one progression. And then the fourth progression would be the wheel. All right, so that's where we're at. Let's play it. He's looking post. He's looking dig. He comes across to the mesh right here, and honestly, that could have got blown up. But this kid right here, he's probably going to be a Division I kid, and he's a big physical kid, so he ran through that one and ends up getting a lot more. Plus, ended up getting a 15, at plus 15 right there. Now, clearly, to avoid that situation, all he had to do was sit. He should have sat right there, but he never throttled it down. He kept moving, so he kind of did that to himself. If he would have sat down right there in the hole, he could have got vertical and taken it. But you'll see in a little while why he's kind of got that habit to keep moving. But we'll get that coached up off of film. This was from this past Friday. All right, here we go. Earlier in the season, same play, same side. Quarterback hits the first progression for the touchdown. So on his three steps, he's looking post first. He liked it. He took it. Big play. Same play again. And basically, all we're doing here, if we're on the right hash, we're slot left. If we're on the left hash, we're slot right. If it's flipped over, it just working the same. It's the same exact route. It's just on the other side. All right. So this was an undisciplined pocket right here. He had no reason to run out of there. You see our mesh isn't as meshed up as it should be, and on routes on there, they're clapping hands, and there's a good bit of distance here right now. But what I told him was, number one, he ran out of the pocket for no reason. Number two, if he would have sat in the pocket, he would have had this dig or this mesh coming across. And you'll see later, this mesh coming across has scored a bunch of touchdowns just running out the back, running out the gate. But he ends up scrambling to his right for no reason, hits the dig. The dig kind of scrambled a little closer to him, so it ended up only being like a 10-yard gain, but it was still a good play, and that's him hitting the mesh. All right, here's another. All right, so here's 2x2. So now when it's 2x2, he's on the post. These two have the mesh, same rule, right sets it, left side makes it. He's on the dig, and then same thing, he's on a check, and then he's running the rail. All right, so that's what it looks like out of 2x2. Let's watch it. He didn't like the post. He found the dig. And the dig's been a big play for us this year. All right, here we go. Same formation, but now we got post on this side, dig on this side, and these two are on the mesh. And I think he screws this up right now and runs the wrong route. But let's see. Yeah, he did. He ran the wrong route. He should have been on the mesh. But there it is, hitting the dig coming across. And that dig is almost always open. So same route. It's same. If it's 3x1 to the left, the X is running the post. If it's 3x1 to the right, the Z is running the post. Everything just mirrored over. All right. So here we go again. Slot left. He ended up scrambling and hitting the mesh coming across, and the mesh ends up scoring right here. But if you look at it, heck, he could have. Almost all these things are open. I don't know why I didn't throw the post right there. Post is wide open. The dig might have been covered. That guy backs up and gets the dig right there. Mesh keeps moving for him, and that's why you saw like Friday night this past week, he kept running when he really should have sat. But he's had a couple of these scramble plays where he kept running and ended up scoring big touchdowns off of it. So he's kind of gotten into a bad habit just because it's been productive early on. But man run, zone sit, and the mesh period. I mean, it's only 5 minutes, but it's a great period for us, and it really has this has turned into a big play for us. All right, here's one more. Same deal. That time he sat in the pocket, but same thing. He hits the mesh. Let's see if the post was there. Safety's backing us, so they got a double on the post. The dig was there. Could have hit the dig. The mesh isn't as close as I want it to be, but just runs out the gate right there. So, I can remember as a GA with Hal at Valdosta State, we always say, just throw the mesh, because the mesh is always open. All right, one more. All right, here we go again. So this is slot right. So now the Z's on the post, the Y's on the dig, and X and Y are on the mesh. And you see, I think our running back goes the wrong way right here. He's lined up on the wrong side. That might be a backup in there. I'm not sure because he doesn't run the thing either. We might have a backup tailback in there right there. But you see the post is wide open. And I mean, it's a lot to handle in there. You know, you've got so many. You got that skinny post coming at you. You got a dig coming across, and you got the mesh to worry about. It's a lot in the middle of the field to be worried about. All right, and then this is this. No, this is a couple weeks ago. Let's see. He scrambles again. Huge play right here off of a scramble, just hitting the mesh, coming across, and he scores. Scramble situation, doesn't get a big a play, but he ends up hitting the what is this? This is the mesh. Oh, this is out of 2x2. So the two inside guys. You see he does a terrible job of getting depth on his mesh. So he only gets like a 2 or 3 yard gain on it, but it turns into a nice deal when the quarterback does have to scramble. He's already got people in his view when he scrambles out of there. And then this is the winning play. About a minute to go in the game. Unfortunately, we shortcut this thing, but this is slot left, 92. I was really thinking we were going to hit this mesh coming across, but quarterback liked the post and dropped a dime on him. Game winner. So, it's kind of back to the future. We started out mesh, air raid was all about the mesh, all about the mesh. Then we fell in love with verticals and stick routes. We've always loved the quick screens and the screen game. But something magic about that 5 minute period. And obviously, I think mesh has become mainstream play. You can if you're watching the Sunday NFL, you're seeing mesh route over and over and over again. So it's a big play at every level, and it's been a big play for us. And I give that particular credit to adding that 5 minute mesh period back in, and just doing it the way we're doing it, where we've got these two concepts that we really like open field, but then the next day we're working more traditional, tight bunch three, trips and doubles, blue flip and laser and razor, just working more traditional mesh plays. And I'll show you some of those in a couple weeks too. So appreciate you watching. Please like, subscribe, do all those things. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Appreciate you watching, coaches. Thank you.